Welcome to Save U.S. Taxes Legally. We're going to start off with three simple questions. Number one, do you want to leave a legacy for future generations? Number two, do you want to save taxes year after year, generations after generations? And number three, do you want to learn the secret of the rich? If you answered yes to all three questions, you're in the right location. Spend the next 25 minutes with me. Have pen and paper or your phone handy because I'm going to teach you how you could be saving taxes legally. Imagine saving 4, 5, 6 figures every single year in taxes. You can use this money to put back into your business, to pay off your mortgage, to buy a new vehicle, take your family on a well-deserved vacation, give to the charity of your choice, or to save for retirement. Imagine nobody knows how much you own, what you own, where you own it, what you do with it, or how much you sell it for. All your information is completely private. Imagine all lawsuits become frivolous and go away. How much time, money, energy, anxiety, worry just disappear for you. This is what the TaxShield method will do for you. Now, I want to help as many U.S. business owners, entrepreneurs, U.S. franchisee owners, 1099 income earners, and U.S. investors learn the secret of the rich. I believe since I learned the secret, it's my duty and my honor to teach it to others. When I got into trouble when my tax bracket went from 22% to 24% and I had to get on a payment plan, I researched how to save taxes. I also believe that the playing field must be equal for everybody, all businesses in the world. The Amazons of the world get free land. My brother's brewery lost their lease because the rents went too high. Not fair. So, welcome to U.S. Taxes Legally. My name is Sally Gimmon. I'm the owner of www.thetrustisyou.com and a free class on the Great Discovery. If you go out to my first name and my last name squished together, www.sallygimmon.com, you're going to get a 23-minute presentation similar to this one. You're going to get 3 articles from Forbes magazine. I did not write, Forbes wrote them. You're going to get 2 pages of case law so you can research this to your heart's content and examples of clients saving thousands of dollars. Now, I know the elephant in the room. You're thinking, how come my CPA hasn't told me about this? Why hasn't my financial planner told me about this? That's a great question. The reason behind it is because there's over 1 million active attorneys in the United States. Only 4% are trust attorneys. A textbook trust attorneys study in law school is called Scott and Asher on Trust, 5th edition. To give you a little bit of history about this, this comes from England way back when King Henry VIII started the Church of England. That famous king who chopped off his wives' heads started the Church of England so he could divorce them. He was broke, so he went to go tax the lords and ladies of England. They went further back into history to the Magna Carta, 13th century, said, oh, no, King Henry VIII, you can't do this. It's contract law. The kings of the colonies, well, we were still part of England. The law firm I work on behalf of inherited a trust that turned 350 years old in 2023, before we were even a country. Now, our current tax code went into effect February of 1913. It's only supposed to be around for a few years, but then we got involved in World War I. The only thing it's done in the last 111 years is grown and grown and grown and grown. The super uber rich families of 1913, the DuPonts, the Carnegies, the Kennedys, the Rockefellers, made sure they could save taxes. Well, if they can save taxes, we can save taxes. The law firm I work on behalf of was started by a Harvard law professor, Paul Benson, who wrote 5 specific trusts, and now his grandson and great-grandson run the law firm. In 77 years, not a single trust has ever been audited. They're so confident in what they do, they say they will give you a certification saying if you get questioned by the IRS, they will defend you free of charge. In 77 years, it's happened once. The actual senior IRS agent who went down to Houston to examine a business trust sent an unsolicited letter back to Benson Financial Trust. And if you want a copy of that, just reach out to me. Now, I want you to Google this as much as you can. It's legal. It's an IRS tax code 643B. It's been in front of the United States Supreme Court on 2 separate occasions. If you Google tax code 643B, you will find an opinion letter from the IRS dated September 11th, 2018, where they specifically say they do not like IRS tax code 643B, and they do not like the irrevocable, complex, discretionary, non-grantor spendthrift trust. That's okay. It's their opinion. I personally do not like lima beans. They're hard to swallow. You probably have thousands of opinions of yourselves. So let's go over those 5 elements that you need. Irrevocable. It goes from generation to generation to save taxes. The Rockefeller Spendthrift Trust is 7 generations old. It has 400 people under the same EIN. They each file a separate 1041 tax return if they're saving taxes. Irrevocable. And it does not mean, I have to say this, it does not mean that you cannot get things in the trust and out of the trust. Since I started the trust in September of 2000, I personally have wholesaled 28 properties. The trust buys it, the trust sells it, I save the capital gains. Irrevocable. Complex. This trust, in the United States, 97% of the trusts sold every year are what my mom and dad had, and what Susie Orman talks about on television. The family trust or the living trust. It avoids probate and then dissolves. It's okay. It avoids probate and then it dissolves. This is not your mom and dad's trust. This trust is going to save you taxes year after year, generation after generation. It's going to keep your information 100% private. No one's going to know what you own, where you own it, or what you do. And number 3, I can't stop you from being sued, but all lawsuits become frivolous and go away. So irrevocable, complex, discretionary. Whoever is a trustee or trustees will make the rules for the beneficiaries. There's no infighting, there's no contesting the will in court or anything else. If I decide I'm going to leave all my real estate to one niece and nobody else, nobody can do anything about that. Irrevocable, complex, discretionary, non-grantor. This is another major change from the family trust. When you start this spendthrift trust, you will have someone who is not a beneficiary or a trustee be the grantor or the settler. It's not a speed bump, but you will need their social security number. I have done this for several of my clients. I sign up as the grantor, then I sign myself away. It's 2 separate pieces of paperwork. I sign it and put it in the trust. It's easy to do. And then the 5th element, the spendthrift. It's been in front of the United States Supreme Court on 4 different occasions. Only on two different occasions. Wow, I'm talking about fish. Now, Paul Benson wrote 5 specific trusts. Today we're going to talk about 2 of them, but I wanted to let you know about all 5 of them. He wrote each one to save very specific taxes. You're not tax-free. You're going to save taxes, and then you're going to file a 1041 tax return. That's only trusts can file that. In 77 years, with probably about 800,000 trusts, not a single trust has ever been audited. Like I said, they're so confident, they'll give you a certification saying if you get questioned by the IRS, they'll defend you free of charge. My personal story. My watershed month for me was October 2018. I was living in Phoenix, Arizona, working as a Medicare broker. My oldest nephew was getting married in Charlotte, North Carolina, October 28th, 2018. Worked for the company for over a year, hadn't taken a vacation yet. I requested the Friday before the wedding, and the Monday after the wedding off, because I had friends and family coming in throughout the world. Open enrollment, for those who do not know, is from October 7th to December 5th. Anybody on Medicare can change their policies during that time. I was denied my vacation. Didn't like working for the company before that, and liked working for them even less. Excuse me. Second thing that happened, my brand new sports car, Hyundai Veloster with a moonroof. You need that in Arizona at night. I'm driving to work 7 o'clock in the morning on Indian School Road. Second car through on a green light. Some bozo runs a red light, T-bones me on my passenger side. He has no insurance. Yikes. I have $25,000 in uninsured property damage. My car loan was worth more than that. All of a sudden, I'm upside down on my car loan. I need a second note. I go from being comfortable to eating ramen noodles twice a week, just like I did in college. In college, I was 20 years old. I'm now 53 years old, and I'm eating ramen noodles. There's something wrong with my life. Third thing that happened. My mom and dad lived in Goodyear, Arizona. They 20 miles west of Phoenix on I-10. They drove from Goodyear, Arizona to Charlotte for the wedding and were supposed to be gone for 2 weeks. Thursday before the wedding, I get a phone call from my dad saying my mom's in the emergency room. They don't know what's wrong. I go to work Friday morning. I work until 8 o'clock at night, drive myself to Sky Harbor Airport, take a red eye from Phoenix to Charlotte, get there at 7:15 in the morning. My nephew who's getting married, his younger brother, and my dad meet me at the airport. Family tradition, we go to IHOP for breakfast. The two boys go back to the house. My dad takes me to the hospital to see my mom. I walked in on the priest giving my mom last rites. I wasn't ready for that. 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I go to this church wedding, then to a country club, eat too much, dance too much, drink too much, had a great time. Next Sunday morning, my sister-in-law puts on this amazing buffet for old out-of-town relatives. My dad taps me on the shoulder at 12:15, says, Sally, we got to leave now. Go back to the hospital, see my mom. She's on the ventilator. And then he drops me off at the airport because I had to be back at work Monday at 6 o'clock in the morning. It ended up, my mom had septic little blood or blood poisoning, got into her pacemaker. They had to do open heart surgery, take out her old pacemaker, put in her new pacemaker. So my dad stayed with my mom for 9 months in the Charlotte area while she got strong enough to come back to Phoenix. I go back, I'm working as a Medicare broker. My dad was supposed to be gone for 2 weeks. He's not prepared to be gone for 9 months. Once a week, I'm going out to their house to do the mail. First week of December, there's a letter that's 27 pages thick. It's my mom's Medicare statement for the emergency room and 1 month on a ventilator, $72,000. I'm not concerned. My dad's a retired military officer. They have TRICARE for life. Everything's being done for my mom that can be done. I'm standing in their kitchen. I have 2 car loans. I have a $10,000 deductible on my health insurance. When that car accident happened, I asked everyone, please don't call the ambulance because I can't afford it. I have student loans because I went to graduate school. I have a mortgage and I have credit card debt and I hate my job. So right then and there in my parents' kitchen, I called my friend Glenn, who invited me to a real estate meeting in August of 2018. And he answers, I'm like, Glenn, I need to change my life. He's like, Sally, next week, we're going to have a Christmas potluck dinner. Get a $5 gift, bring some food, meet my fellow real estate investors. Go to a party where I don't know anyone? A little bit scary. I did it. Best decision of my life. With my mentor, Jay Tannenbaum, in 2019, I wholesaled 7 bank-owned properties nationwide and paid off $184,000 in debt. Let me share my screen real quick. Oops, you don't want to see that. I messed up. Sorry. This is how much you pay in taxes. So my CPA calls me on April 4th, 2020 to say I owe $94,000 because my tax bracket. Let's share this. Let's put it on slideshow. Sorry, that's my mess up. So my tax bracket went from 24% to from 22% to 24%, and I only had $50,000 in my bank account. I had to get on a payment plan with the IRS to pay off the rest of my taxes that I owed. I wasn't ready for that. The more money you make, the more money you'll pay. So let me share this again with y'all. So my first house, come on, go down. Are you not working? My first house that I bought it in July of 2020 because my mom's in North Carolina. It's a bank-owned reverse mortgage for $20,000. When it was going to go to auction, it would be $50,000. I knew the spread, the $30,000 spread at 24%, I would owe $7,110. Now I started the trust in September of 2020, so I had to do 2 simple bill of sales. One bill of sales said I was selling Rocky Mount from Sally's Real Estate Team, LLC, to Sally Gimmon. Second bill of sale was from Sally Gimmon to my beneficial Spendthrift Trust. I did 2 bill of sales. I Googled it, went to the bank. I had my banker, Jose, notarize both of them. I happened to have $10 in my wallet, so $10 of consideration. Drove back home in Phoenix. I scanned them and sent them to the attorney in Raleigh, North Carolina. The next day, the attorney says, I need the first page of your trust. Send that to him. When it finally went to auction on August 28th of 2021, Started at $50,000 and it ended at $64,326. Without lifting a hammer, yay, Sally, I made $44,326. More importantly, at 24% tax bracket, I got to save $10,368 on that first property. I'm not trying to crow, I'm just telling people how much they can save. Now, with the beneficial Spendthrift Trust, you are going to save the following 5 taxes year after year, generation after generation on all your profits. You will no longer pay short-term or long-term capital gains when you sell something. So if you are a Forex, if you're selling crypto, you're a Forex investor, you're wholesaling, you're doing tax liens, auction houses, or fix and flipping, that's short-term capital gains, tax at 10% to 37%, 7 different layers. Long-term capital gains is something else. We'll get to that in a second. You'll no longer pay interest income taxes. So if you're a passive investor, you're in mutual funds, you're in a REIT, you're doing subject to real estate, the BRRRR strategy. I have notes where on the paper on the house, people pay me their mortgage. If you do creative financing, seller financing, or Forex investing, yes, Forex investors, you get taxed twice. Capital gains and interest income taxes, you desperately need the beneficial trust. Dividend income taxes. If you're in the stock market, I know the stock market has gone crazy the past few days, but if you're a day trader, if you are doing options trading, you're doing commodities trading, you're doing futures trading, you'll save taxes. If you rental income taxes, if you have short-term rentals, Airbnb, vacation rentals, maybe you have 5 doors, 3 doors, 5 doors, 10 doors, 20 doors. Maybe you have commercial property. Maybe you have apartment buildings, multifamily, or you're doing Airbnb arbitrage or rental arbitrage. You need the trust. And remember, the renter's dog gets out and bites the mailman. They can't come after you, the owner. They can only go after the renter. And what's not on here is royalty income taxes. We tax a little bit less, between 10% to 35%. So if you're in the NFT world, if you are an actor, an actress, a musician, maybe you're an author, an artist, have intellectual property, patents, or copyrights. This is just an idea. If you wholesale 2 houses for $25,000 in 1 year at 24%, you would save $24,000. It's an amazing thing. Now, capital gains are a year or more, and they affect you when you sell a business, sell an investment property, or you sell a baseball card. I literally have a client whose son bought a Ken Griffey Jr. baseball card for a quarter. It still was in the same packaging with the gum, disgusting, the gum. And then he sold it for $40,000. He didn't pay any capital gains on that. This is a true story. A son saw my TikTok video. His parents were selling a family restaurant, 42-year-old family restaurant that Jim and his brothers built. They were working with a business broker, so I contacted Sam. Sam's like, I make 1099 income. I need the business trust. I told him about my affiliate program. Sam tells Michael, who was buying the restaurant, it's going to be his 7th restaurant in 3 different states. Michael buys the business trust. Sam made an extra $1,000. Now, this is an actual client I just worked with. It's an Illinois dentist. She has a practice. She's making $200,000. We're taking it out of their 1040 tax return. Her husband does have a W-2 job making $90,000. His taxes go from 24% down to 12%. She's going to save an extra $30,445 plus Illinois income taxes. So the family will save $85,081 in a full year, or not working harder or longer, an extra $7,090 per month. It's an amazing thing. This is another example of my favorite local New York style pizzeria. I took my friend Ingrid door knocking in a cold, blustery March day in 2023. We showed up about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We're the only people there eating the best New York style white pizza I've ever had. We're chit-chatting for 2 hours. As we get up to leave, Mario, the owner, asked for my business card. He and his wife, Mary Ann, were doing their 2022 taxes with 2 locations, making about $15,000 gross per month. They would say they're making $180,000 per year. Saving them 90% is $27,193 per year, plus North Carolina state income taxes for $34,903. What they did with the money in 2024, they opened a 3rd location. And in 2025, they're going to open a 4th location. When they retire in 3036, One adult child gets 2 pizzerias, another adult child gets 2 other pizzerias, no inheritance tax, and they too will save federal and state income taxes. Now, this is just a short presentation. If you would like to set up a 30-minute tax breakthrough session with me, please go to www.thetrustisyou.com/scheduling. And my free online class is www.sallygimmonsquishtogether.com. Again, this is legal. It's in the IRS tax code 643B. It's been in front of the United States Supreme Court on 2 separate occasions. You can't get more legal than this. I enjoy helping people save taxes. Please set up a 30-minute tax breakthrough session with me. Thank you for coming. Take care.